all right, mister?
I'm just fine. Why you ask?
Yeah, it just looked like a trip there for a second.
I was fine. Just been enjoying myself some bread.
All right, fella. Are you a deputy?
No, I'm not a deputy. I would never be caught in white in a white hat.
Well, you're wearing a badge, silly.
I'm not wearing no badge. It's a handkerchief in my pocket there.
I can see it is. I apologize, mister. Jesus.
I would be the most scandalous, worst deputy if I were a deputy.
Yeah, maybe I need a pair of glasses.
Or perhaps you do. I know myself I wear a pair because my eyes and my age are starting to go, unfortunately, but I still know where I need to shoot, though, which is well enough.
That's a good thing nowadays.
That's surreal. What's your name, by the way, son, if you don't mind me asking?
Shaun, and you?
I'm Kenway Wilthorne. Pleasure to meet you.
Kenway Wilthorne?
Yes, sir.
Shaun Mercer, good to meet you.
Oh, Shaun Mercer, I don't think I've met you before. I've been quite the explorer of these lands lately, and I go town to town. I see many people. I don't think I've ever seen you around here before.
Jesus, you ain't seen me? You might be the first.
Is that true? Well, then again, I was on business the last couple days, so perhaps I haven't had the luck or pleasure of running into yourself, Mr. Shaun Mercer.
Yeah, so have I. The last 4 days, I had to go check on a customs office. Then I had to go out to an interchange office, and then some factory somewhere. So I've been out of state for a little bit because of that.
Oh, fair enough. If you don't mind me prying, of course, why, you need to find a sheriff or something for something bad happened to one of you or your friends?
No, I don't. I'm the last person to look for a sheriff. I just, honest to God, it looked when I had my lantern out there for a second, it just looked like a badge out the corner of my eye. And I apologize for that, mister. I didn't mean nothing by it.
Well, I appreciate it. I was slightly insulted that you thought I was a sheriff for a moment.
Well, hold on a second.
I'll see.
All right, take him to the doctor's office.
I'll be right back. I need to go to the butcher real quick.
Looks like everybody's back in town. Perhaps I might be able to run the saloon for a bit, make myself some income.
Oh, I recognize that voice. Talk to him in a bar, I believe.
Oh, Jesus.
Are you talking to me?
What are you doing to Tim Foster?
What the?
Sorry, are you talking to me? Or is he talking to you?
I think you screwed up and said voice instead of face.
Well, I'm not sure. I've not met that man before if he was talking to me.
Mister, I got a lot of folk around here that don't like me, so...
Well, I can understand the feeling. Is it because of the kind of business you do around here that causes people to be, I would say, not as friendly towards your top, perhaps?
I'm an outlaw, mister.
Oh, why would you just announce that in the town here, son? I mean, quite brave then, I'd imagine.
Well, because I didn't know you too well, fellers. That's why I didn't from the get-go.
How about this? Since you're an outlaw and I sometimes do illegal things, perhaps we could have a conversation about some interesting business ideas, if you are so willing to, Mr. Mercer.
Let's go behind the church, then.
Well, all business should be conducted, right?
Under the man himself, I guess you're right. Hey, I like you already. Oh, we got the same goddamn kind of horse.
Well, hopefully your horse is smarter than my horse. My horse is quite the dunce.
What kind of foxtrotter is that?
I'm not sure. I don't like animals. I just need it to get around.
Yeah, Jesus. I think it's a foxtrot only because their pattern is similar. I don't know. Maybe you got a... Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a foxtrotter.
Well, if it is then. I know one thing is that myself and horses don't always get along, and if I get kicked one too many times, I decide to put them down for good.
Yeah, don't we all?
So, Shaun Mercer.
Take a look here.
Watch out, this horse is kind of dumb. He will eventually try and kick.
I'm smarter than the average horse. That is an American paint.
Oh, really? Then I can see
That is a yep. That is a dark. That is a what they call a white and tan paint. No shit. Okay.
Now I'm looking
That's
at these
it.
two horses. I can see the differences now that I'm staring at them.
Yeah, exactly.
One is brave, and one is scared shitless of everything it sees.
The foxtrotter is known for its how do you say it? Belligerentness.
I hate this horse, but I can't afford a new one, unfortunately.
Might be able to help you with that.
I'm trying to help myself out as well.
Here,
Considering
let me show you how to calm your horse down, mister. Watch this.
no, I know how to calm it down. It's just I'm impatient.
No, just like that right there. That's it. Done.
Nice and good there. Pardon me.
You okay? Should I put my mask on?
Oh no, I'm almost choking on my own spit here.
Yeah, just in case. You got a collar or something.
No collar here. I don't find myself in those dirty places very often. Oh, Mr. Shaun Mercer, what shall I say? I run a business here that sometimes the deputies don't agree with very often, of course. And it involves all kinds of deeds that aren't looked upon God too well as either. But it's the way I have to make my living. Sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's quick and easy money as well. I think if you're an outlaw, then you and I have similar interests as well, I could imagine.
I guess so. So, spill the beans.
Well, sometimes me and my friends here in our company find ourselves hired for all kinds of situations. Sometimes we are hired as security guards, but they don't realize that we're something else rather than what we say we are. And we find ourselves in a position to make a very wealthy amount of income from unsuspecting individuals. I would say maybe perhaps the word be heists. Would this interest a man of your perspective?
Well, what caliber of heists are we talking?
Well, all of them do vary depending on our client, of course. Sometimes we find somebody who is very well protected but very rich. Or we find somebody who is very dim in the way he runs his, I would say, events, and they leave them lacking protection. And then my friends and myself show up and we take the takings and we make ourselves out of there as soon as possible. They all vary, of course.
Is there any particular reason you're being kind of so ambiguous about it?
Well, it's just in case you decide you want to talk to a sheriff later, which I don't think you would, but it makes my words kind of harder to repeat. And
Yeah.
it's more of a just the way I talk as a kind of when it comes to laws,
Well,
they get tangled up with words pretty easily.
I get it. So let me ease your doubt. All right. I have shot 7 deputies. I have killed 1, and I have killed 6 people in the span of 3 months.
Well, I feel a little more at ease now knowing that.
So let me ask you again: what kind of heists do you have in mind?
The idea is anyone who has found themselves their pockets a little too rich and fat are targets of heists. If they are rich, they are a target for a job to be done on, and usually that involves setting up a false identity for the job. Say they need security, or they find a woman of the night who happens to work for me, and they go on a lovely little date, and then we rob them and we take them to the bank afterwards. Nice and easy, of course, and we empty out their funds. Sometimes things don't go as planned, of course, but you know that's why every job is different.
So one thing I will tell you: you can't ever take a person to the bank and make them give you your money out of the bank.
Is that so?
And yes, it is, and it's not like an outlaw code or a bandit code. It's a state thing.
All right. I see. I haven't done that yet, but I was thinking about it because it'd be interesting. It brings someone to like a bank and see how far we can get away with that. Because I think that would be very tough indeed.
Yeah, you can't take a person to the bank and make them give you everything in the bank account, or else you'll get a trip to the Bahamas.
Oh, I see what you mean there.
Yep. That's
Well-
that's a no-go. But whatever's on their person is absolute fair game.
I'm surprised I wasn't aware of this little tidbit here. I think I may have, misread something about it or something.
Yep. There's a lot of unwritten government laws. I guess we can say it like that. A lot of unwritten government laws that you just learn over time, like this one. And I'm glad you brought that up to me before doing it.
Well, that was one that was on the table, but most of the time we find ourselves in positions where there's an event going on there, and we find ourselves in the position of security guards, and we rob folks that way.
Even if the scenario is set up to do so, it can't be done, mister. And I'm sorry. Would you like me to... How long you lived around these parts for, mister?
Months now. Been here for a while.
And this the first you're hearing of that?
Well, I've brought it up to a couple people, but they never said anything about it. I haven't got around to doing, considering that most towns are pretty busy, and it's definitely something that I would like to have extra people with. And sometimes I don't have extra people for a job like that, and that's why I haven't done it yet myself.
Well, I'm very glad you asked him, mister. Yeah, if the government will not tolerate you making somebody go to the bank and enter the bank account.
Oh my gosh, and they call them the military then, and you become very wanted, more so than most bandits would like to find themselves.
They'll haul you out to California, pretty much. Yep.
Well, that's good to know. I've never seen the government really act hard on anything towards bandits, and that probably that one's a good one to know. That they take that one very seriously there.
But you can rob the bank, and you can rob folks for whatever the hell they got on their person.
Well, I'll tell you the way we do things majority of the time. Is we have a couple of my friends, they find themselves as the ones who don't do the heavy lifting, or we would say they keep themselves clean of the law, but they're on my side for sure. They find themselves hanging out in saloons and taverns, the eyes and ears of the organization here, and they'll find out marks here and they'll let me know what individuals might be interesting to introduce myself to, of course. And sometimes they make friends with them and they have hunting trips planned or other events planned where me and the rest of the gang decides, hey, that's where we need to meet them at later on. If you know what I mean.
I got it. You know what? I got somebody in mind you'd like to meet.
Who would that be, if you don't mind me asking?
I would like to introduce him to you. So if you don't mind hanging around Valentine for a little bit so I can go and find him. You'll like this gentleman. He's listen, mister, I'll be honest with you. I'm in a bad way. I'm in a very bad way today.
And how was that?
I found out today that excuse me.
Now take your time. Sounds like it's a real rough thing that happened to you, son.
I found out today that my best friend was killed.
Now, who's responsible for something like that?
I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm trying to find out. But at the same time, there's a whole lot of people trying to get me to do all these jobs for them to take my mind off it, and I appreciate it. But I know since I met you, I've come across as cross, mister, and I don't mean to. I've just not had the best day.
I understand. Besides, we are still very much strangers to each other as well, Mr. Mercer. We both share very interesting things that keep us as equals as well, if you think about it. It's always about making sure that we're on the same level of things, because sometimes when you meet a new person, it's hard to see where you can trust them. But you do have my condolences for the loss of a friend there. I know I would be heartbroken if I lost anybody in my gang. I would say we're much like a family.
I don't have a gang, that's the problem. I'm a lone wolf, mister. It's just, I used to be a part of a gang. I did. But Anyway, all that aside, I do want somebody I want you to meet, Mister. And can you tell me your name again?
Kenway Wilthorne.
That is a nice name, Mister Kenway Wilthorne.
Much appreciated. My mother, she was very thoughtful when she gave it to me.
That's a Kenway Wilthorne. That is a very nice name. I've never met nobody with a name like that yet. My name sounds kind of boring compared to that.
Shaun Mercer is more just most of the common folk around here. Some folks is Chad Bluestein or something weird like
Chad
that.
Bluestein. Yeah, I like that too.
Well, some folks are three-letter names would say they probably weren't the smartest individuals to begin with anyways. All right, then. Well, I will find myself around the saloon there enjoying the music of the piano. If you're going to be around for a while, that's where I'll be.
I'll go try to find my associate, and I want him to meet you. I think he might like you very much. And I do like you, mister. I got to say that right now.
Well, it's much appreciated, Mr. Mercer. I do look forward to making more friends who think as similarly as I do, considering these days there are a lot of law men out about again. Remember back a while ago during the recession, before then, the law was very sparse. It seems like things are getting a bit hard for the occupation I've chose these days. You know how some folks are lumberyard workers or politicians or lawmen. They all have the different professions, where you and I find ourselves on the opposite side of the law when it comes to our professions. And it becomes a lot harder to do our job when there's more of them.
Would you consider yourself an intellectual, mister?
I would so.
And you made it clear that you like to plan thoroughly before you do something, correct?
Yes, sir. Sometimes I can see opportunity when it comes my way, but here's the thing. You must have a plan, so when things go awry, you can have backups in place, especially when the law shows up. And one thing I've learned about the law is I know how they operate and I know how they talk about it, and that's why alibis are important to the plan as well, such as other little details.
Well, then, with that being said, do you mind if you spell your name out for me so I can write it down?
Kenway, Kenway, Wilthorne, Willthorn. You get all that, sir.
Okay. I want to write this down so I know who to send a telegram to when I need to. I just learned how to read a month ago, so I'm struggling with it, but I appreciate it.
I know you're saying that you're on solo, but perhaps you might find yourself light in the pockets, and perhaps I might need an extra man down the road for certain jobs, depending on what position you want in it. Because sometimes we have a range of jobs needed for one job. Some might play as a victim, some might play as extra security, or others might play as a pretend bodyguard of sorts, things of that sorts, because that makes the job.
I can, Mister, listen here, listen. I can play any role you want. I'm just a Mexican that you hire from Mexico, man. That's not a problem. My friend, I just come from Russia. That is not going to be a problem what kind of job we do. I'm a pirate out of Guam. I'm just looking to get a job. There's a lot I can do, mister.
Well, that's good to hear then. Well, when I get some of my friends together, I'd like to introduce them as well. We call ourselves the Silver Bastards, by the way.
The Silver Bastards. I like it. Holy shit.
On the count of that, we try to use the silver tongue as much as possible in situations. And a lot of the times when the law does catch up, they are so confused and bewildered by the way we speak to them that they don't know what to believe.
We have a lot in common in that regard.
I was one time, I felt sorry here, I robbed some folks. And the way I usually run my deception is that we'll change our clothing, go find a carriage, pretend we're just simple carriage riders riding back. So we ditch our horses for a bit, we change our dress up, and we'll ride out of town. But I learned about the way that sheriffs operate these days. Everybody in a region, area where the robbery happened, they will stop every individual, innocent or not, to try to get them to talk about what happened and so on as suspects. So I've learned that that strategy works with the normal folks, but it's not work with the law. So if you rob some normal folks and they're looking for you and you start riding a carriage all casually, they'll just pass right past you. But if it's a lawman, they'll show up and talk to you and then bring you in for questioning.
That's how the law works, mister.
Oh, yes, sir. And I was surprised because we were fairly far away from the location where we did the dirty deed, of course, but at the same time, it was worth being taken in by them because we learned a lot about the way they speak, the way they operate, and so on. They were trying to pin us for the robbery, but the way I played it was I was like, sir, I do apologize. I did steal this carriage. And I, throw him off the beaten path for a second because he wants to get us something. So my best plan is I could either double down on trying to tell him that we didn't rob the person or get him distracted with a different crime that's way lesser than the one we had before. And she got us for horse thievery. And now armed robbery, so my name is still clean in that regards. I'm just a simple horse thief to them now.
Very good. Will you be around at the storm here?
I will. Thanks for reminding me of the storm. I'm actually going to head towards the saloon and get ready for the bad weather that's coming through here.
Yeah, likewise. And I'll try to track down my friend for the same thing. And I hope I get to introduce you to him. I really do.
I think we will. I'll be around it for a while now, especially since I have business now, of course. Makes you want to stick around one place a bit longer.
Mr. Kenway, I'm glad I met you, mister.
Likewise, Mercer. I think we might have a very valuable friendship in the near future. See how things play out.
You're just what I needed.
Well, that's good to hear. Let me get over there before the storm hits so I can find myself back just in time.